What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Well, right now it's Saturday and I'm on my way to a Shelby car show over here in Escondido. I'm actually meeting up with Scott. He has a 1,000 horsepower GT500 Super Snake. I believe it's a 2014 model year as well. Such an awesome car. It really is. I'm going to show it to you guys up here. Oh God! I can hear it from way back here, guys. Check this out, guys. So I just pulled up behind a 2019 GT350. Brand new, it seems like. The wing is, it's very interesting to be behind, guys, looking at it. I'm not sure if I like the original better or not, but it certainly is a refresh. Okay, guys, seems like we made it. Guys, this is the first time I've ever off-roaded the GT350R. I'm not sure what I think, guys, but I know I just bottomed out a few seconds ago. But let's keep going. Guys, we made it. We got a GT350 right there. Let's turn off the car. Now, speaking of the all-new 2020 GT500, I can't get the thought out of my head of those painted stripes, those $10,000 painted stripes. And the more I think about it, it's like, I want to get it, but again, $10,000 for stripes, that is just so much money. It really is. To some people, they don't really need it. To me, it would be a great thing to have. I don't know. I'm tempted to get those stripes. And if they are limited, like Ford has said, 25% of GT500s are going to have these painted stripes. I think, I don't know, guys. I think it's going to be a must-have for me. Okay, so here we go. Here are some painted stripes on a 2014 Shelby GT500. They do look pretty interesting, guys, and for contrast, here are the vinyl stripes on a Shelby GT350. The biggest difference you'll notice is that the painted stripes are actually smooth on the paint of the vehicle. It's all essentially one solid paint job. And with the vinyl stripes, you'll notice a lip over the paint, which over time can wear. On one hand, I can get a very rare version of this new GT500, and then on the other, I can save $10,000. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you think I should do. After walking around the car show for a few minutes, that's when I came up with the idea to see what Scott thinks. He's also in the market for a new 2020 Shelby Mustang. Anyway, Scott decided to drop off his GT500 Super Snake at his house so that he can ride inside the 350R for the first time ever. And then another GT350 owner, Joe, decided to tag along with us while we hit up the nearest mountain. This should be a lot of fun. Right now, me and Scott are inside the Shelby GT350R. This is the first time you've been in an R, right?
This is the first time. Hi guys, yeah, this is pretty amazing.
He's in the market for a new Shelby, so we're gonna see what he thinks, if he's gonna try to go after the new 2020 GT500, or if I can convince him to get a GT350 all the time. Guys, the wheels are slipping.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Man, guys, if the new GT500 is gonna be anything like this, I'm gonna love it. $8,250 RPMs in this thing. I think that the GT500 has, what, 7,500, is it?
I think so.
I don't know, guys. It's gonna be a totally different driving experience. It really is. And the sound is not going to sound like this. Anyway, Scott, what do you think? First impressions of just a few corners, a few pulls, and the sound is making. What do you think, man?
It's beautiful, man. It's really stable. He takes the turns. He kind of gobbles them up.
So as you guys know, this new GT500 is going to have a dual clutch automatic transmission, right, Scott? So
that's right.
It's going to be completely different than this. In this car, I have to rev match downshift like that, and that's fun. It really is. It makes you feel as if, okay, the better I become as a driver, the better I can drive this car. It's right. A perfect way to describe it. I feel as if this new GT500 is going to be the kind of vehicle that you buy and it just makes you a better driver completely. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say, though? It's like
in the right mode, you just sit back.
Yeah, it's going to be automatic. Let's say you don't want to shift the paddles yourself. well, you can have it in automatic mode if you want. So the shifts are just going to be perfect. No manual transmission shifter or race car driver is going to outshift you. And this, you got that pause. You got that pause between each gear shift. But I don't know, Scott. You think it's to be more fun than a manual?
Oh, it's hard to say.
No, it is very hard to say.
I think I feel like the manual really keeps you more kind of in tune with the car. You can't just kind of zone out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of rocks. You gotta watch out. That's one thing too, Scott. If you do buy a 2020 GT500, you've got to watch out because you can get the same tires this car has, the Cup 2 tires. And I think they're the same size, 305s in the front, 315s in the back.
Okay.
And you're going to be kicking up a ton of rocks. Here we are, we made it to the top, not the top actually, halfway up Palomar Mountain. We've got Daniel in his AMG bi-turbo. How you doing, man?
Good, good.
How's it handling?
It's amazing, honestly. For an SUV, it handles like a regular car, honestly.
That's cool, man.
It's amazing, yeah.
But we got Scott still in the car. He's just hanging out. He's just enjoying it. He was telling me that he likes how the interior looks in the GT350R. Many people have to actually say that these interiors look cheesy and cheap, but for $67,000,
Oh man, it's
70, I think it's 70 now.
The way it performs and handles everything. Wow.
70 grand for a GT350R
Right.
with carbon wheels, a carbon wing. Then you have the GT500 with the same engine basically, right? Instead it's got a cross-plane crank and a supercharger,
Right.
making 760 horsepower, like 200 more than this car. And that's out the door with the same package, guys. But with the carbon wheels and the wing, it's I think 95 grand, and that's like without markup and any other options.
Yeah, the dealer markup kind of kills it.
Especially in California. I was telling him,
That's
over in
crazy.
California, every dealership I call, they tell me 50K over, 30K over. I've even heard 60K over, guys.
The 350 right there.
Yeah, no, that's completely true, guys. It's completely, you can get a used GT350 for the price of one markup.
Yeah.
Is it a good deal, really, if they're making $5,000 a year? I don't think so. I think if you are in the market for a GT500, I would just go out of state, just keep calling dealerships until you find the right deal.
Or maybe one that gets repossessed. Some guy got in over
Go to
that.
CarMax or something and see a GT500. Thinking about it, so for the R, if you want the R package on this, it's like $8,000, I think, somewhere around that.
Okay.
That's how much I think I paid for my 350R. It's like $8,000 more than the normal GT350.
Okay.
Now, for $8,000, you're getting the carbon wheels and the carbon wing, and for the $18,000 for the new GT500, you're getting the same thing. But I think the reason why it's so expensive, guys, is that it actually shows the carbon weave, right? Because
Oh, that's true.
yeah, because looking at the wheels, guys, they're pretty dirty right now, but you can tell that they are painted. So under that paint coat, the carbon may not look so good. You know, it could just be
who knows how
mass-produced, right?
Right.
It's the extra time it takes Carbon Revolution to make those 20-inch carbon wheels is basically the reason why they cost so much. That's got to be why, right?
That would make sense. I don't think they even offered that before because I think these were the first ones really ever made.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't have the technique completely perfected for just exposed.
I think this was the first ever vehicle that had mass-produced carbon wheels on it, right? Because only
Yeah,
the
it
vehicles
was.
out there had, the Koenigsegg had it, right? If you wanted to buy it for your normal vehicle aftermarket, it would be like 20, 30 grand for the total, you know, 4 set of carbon wheels. What Ford is doing here, it's pretty revolutionary, guys. It's pretty unique because you can roll up to a car meet and some guy's got like HRE wheels or something like that, and you've got full carbon fiber wheels.
They're like,
Just like the Ford GT. The Ford GT has exposed carbon wheels as well. So
true.
that's cool, guys. It really is. So what do you think, Scott?
I'm loving it, man. It's like you're your own personal roller coaster.
I don't think there's going to be another vehicle like this ever again, really, guys. Naturally aspirated, right? No forced induction, no
All motor.
supercharging. It's all motor. And what does that give you? Well, number one, it gives you a linear power band. It's all gradual. No matter what RPM you're at, you're going to feel a gradual increase in power, which I really do love. It makes you feel, again, that much more confident. This vehicle being a manual, no matter what happens, it will not shift for me. With the new automatic DCT, let's say that you're riding up on that rev limiter, it's probably going to upshift, right?
Yeah, even if you don't want it to.
Everything this car does is in an exact response of what you command.
It's just an extension of you.
And that's what I'm curious about, to see how the new GT500 will be. So that's going to be, I think, one major driving factor towards the GT350.
Yeah.
If you want that manual transmission that you can rev match downshift like that, manually do that, this is a car you've got to get.
You know, Austin, what if you got a 350R and just built the motor like a GT500?
No, yeah, you're right. You're completely right, because the new GT500 has the same engine as this, right? The 5.2
exactly.
cross-plane crank, and it's got an Eaton, I think, 2650 supercharger.
Yeah.
What if you just bought that and put on your GT350? Well, I think the downside would be it's not under warranty. But if you're gonna mod your 2020 GT500,
anyway,
does that really matter? No, it doesn't. So I think you can make the GT350 into a GT500 to an extent. It's not gonna have those incredibly fast gear changes that are just instantaneous. The second you
just gotta practice
click that button, you just gotta practice, right? That's exactly right. With this car, it's all about practice. The more you learn about it, the better you get, the better it performs.
It's gonna be interesting if you took a 350R with the same kind of power versus the new GT500, you know, which one performs better?
That too, because the weight of the GT500 is going to be a lot more than the GT350R. The R, if you get the base model R, which I think they're pretty hard to come by nowadays, it has no AC, and it weighs, I think, roughly 3,650 pounds or so.
Hellcat's weighing like 4,500 pounds.
Yep, that's right, 44 or something.
Yeah.
Super heavy. And if you did supercharge it, let's say you make 750 horsepower in a GT350, could you keep up with the GT500, you think?
I'm willing to say you could probably beat it.
There's one thing that we skipped as well, though. It's that the new GT500 has more downforce, right? It's got that GT4 rear wing. I think they said 550 pounds of downforce at 180 miles an hour or so. Because that might actually help make the new GT500 much faster than the GT350, right? The downforce. You know what, guys? I just realized something. As you guys know, Ford has limited the top speed of the new GT500. It's limited to 180 miles an hour. If you do want to go run the mile and you want to get a record of some sort, you may want to get a GT350 for that. There must be a way to turn off that speed governor, right?
Oh, yeah. So
you got to be able to do it somehow.
get a new tune.
So from your perspective, what do you think? This or GT500?
I still want to sit on the sidelines and just really see how the GT500 performs and how it turns out, how it handles, just straight from the factory, and yeah, just really see how it compares to the 350R. I mean, you can see, you know, if it's just even worth all the kind of hassle and extra markup and to get it, or you know, you don't have an official GT500, but you can build an R that keep up or outperform it for a lot less. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say right now until we really see what
it can do, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I think as of
if
this
it just
moment,
blows like the 350R out of the water, it's like, okay, never mind.
I got you. I think as of this moment, guys, we still don't know the 0 to 60 time, the quarter mile time, and again the weight. We still don't know the weight. So there's a lot about this car that we still need to learn from Ford. And so I think it's all a waiting game now.
You know, it's hard to tell too from the little videos that they put up.
Yeah.
Of it on the track, you can't really tell.
It's been so just like in the down low, right? There's not really much being shown. We saw a few glimpses of the car just recently at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Okay guys, so we made it back to the garage. Look how killer Scott's GT500 Super Snake looks. Just that combo, man.
Thanks, man.
Just looking at the 2014 and the 13 or any S197 GT500 and seeing the design of it and then comparing them with like the S550s, right? The S550 GT350 and the new GT500. The design cues of the new GT500 don't look anything like this, do they?
No,
they're completely different. Yeah.
I was impressed. It's fun, man. The cornering in this thing is amazing. I hope you take me on the track.
It's gonna be interesting seeing how the cornering is on the GT500. If the GT500 truly is this car but turned up a notch, right? How is that gonna translate?
I don't know.
This thing is perfect on the track in my opinion. It's so planned, it's so fun to drive. And if the new GT500 truly is this but like just turned up though, I think it's gonna be a pretty promising. The only thing about it is this, I'm kind of concerned about the weight, you know, because this thing, if you get the lightest spec GT350R, it's roughly, I think, 3,600 pounds or so. Now the GT500s for the model years 13 and 14 were right around 3,800, I believe, 3,800 or 3,900, somewhere in that ballpark. And I think the new GT500 is going to be more than both of these. It's going to be over 4,000 pounds, probably, right? And if you guys may be wondering why is that so? Well, you have the supercharger, right? The 2650 supercharger on top of the 5.2 liter. You have all the cooling. They want to make sure, right, that nothing happens, doesn't overheat, no heat soak. I think Ford's just trying to make sure it's a good package.
It's a solid car that's not going to break down.
Yeah. And do you think the DCT's heavier than the manual?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it might be heavier. It's two guys. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
You've really got me thinking about a 350R now, gotta say.
Well, also, take a look at this sight. Could you imagine coming into your garage and this is what you see? That's close to perfect, isn't it?
Pretty easy.
Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. If you liked it, make sure to let us know in the comment section down below. Also, hit that like button. It really does help us out. And subscribe for much more great Shelby content to come. We'll see all of you in the next video.